Welcome everybody to the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast. Our next live show is August 24th at NV Lounge in Newport Beach. For tickets to that show or any of our future shows, please check out our website, comedypopupla.com. All right, let's start the show.
Hey, what's up, party people? This is comedian Ron G. Welcome to another episode of the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man?
Yo, just chilling, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, great first session. Looking forward to a great second session.
That was awesome. And I also peep your Instagram swag, too. This is face he make on Instagram all the time. He do light skin eyes, eyebrows up real high, and his mouth twisted a little bit. Is that playing because you try to get the dimples to show?
The Paul face, man. It's famous now. That's what people comment on it.
The Paul face.
They're like, that's the Paul face.
But when did you know that was your face, though?
I don't know, man. You know what?
You got a compliment and it stuck?
My dad always says, like, you have your mom's eyebrows because you shoot them up towards your forehead when you're smiling.
That's called light skin eyes. That's what we do in the black community.
I'm doing. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Let me see.
What was that? Oh, you about to show her a picture instead of doing it in person?
I'm gonna show her a
That
picture.
is weird, dude.
I gotta look.
Your face is right here. What are you doing?
I'm looking at your face.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll show you.
Yeah. All right.
It'll be better this way.
That's like somebody going to the casting office. You like, show me what you can do, and you're like, well, let me show you the video of what I did.
So I'm a
like you're
podcaster.
here in my face.
That does happen.
That's the Paul face.
That's why I do podcasts and not
Like all his Instagram pictures is
I
the
like
Paul
it.
face.
I like it. I
not
get
bad,
it.
right?
But why can't you do it in person?
That's what we call it, catfishing.
You're so goofy. Hilarious. And then you can put a light skin filter on it. Your skin look extra bright and smooth.
Oh yeah.
This dude, I can't take it. Anyway, we got a great show today, man. I have the pleasure of bringing in two of the dopest females in Hollywood that I've had a chance to work with since I've been here. It's so funny that we've all come to this place, just in unique places and time in our life, man. So first up, this young lady's from Chicago, has her own production company. She's directed films, commercials, and music on over 30 projects. She has an upcoming project right now called Turn. She has a BS in psychology at Loyola in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love for Meiko Taylor. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. This next young lady, this is so funny how we met. I'll definitely tell the story. She's been doing casting for over 14 years. She's currently working on a project by Paul Feig, his new web series called East of La Brea, which I've heard a lot of buzz about. Movie called Kicks, Brotherly Love, and over 100 other movies. And her first project was Fat Albert, which is a classic. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love for Natasha Ward. So look, I am having such a proud moment. The fact that I know you two. Yeah. Like normally this is a comedy platform. We give a platform to up and coming comedians, but I know two really dope women, and I get a chance to say that y'all are my friends. I've had a chance to work with y'all on many occasions, and it's so weird. So especially you, you and I did a show called The Reason, which was so cool. And this is before this movement right now of black women doing big things, like Ava DuVernay and the young lady who did the Beyonce video. She also produced my episode of Insecure as well.
Melina.
I forgot her name. Huh? Melina. She's so awesome. But this was before that was even a thing. I had a chance to work with you, and like seeing a young black woman boss around a bunch of people to get the shot she need. For me, it was the most inspiring thing ever. And I thought it was awesome because I literally have never seen that before. Until that moment we were in it. Do you feel like you have a lot of weight on your shoulders by being in that position? Or now it's like, this is just what I do. Buckle up, be a part of this journey, and don't block your blessing.
That part, don't block your blessing. No, I don't feel like a weight on my shoulders. I feel like
Speaking to the mic.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So it's Meiko Taylor.
I'm
by
country.
The way.
Yeah, I got you.
And no, I don't feel like it's a weight on my shoulders. I'm really only in competition with myself. And so I really just focus on getting better and better. I honestly, a lot of times when I talk to people and, I'm asked for advice about directing and producing and different things like that, I'm extremely humble. Anyone will tell you that, because I just feel like I haven't arrived. I'm not where, I'd like to be. I'm still building and growing. And so I don't feel any pressure other than to just continue to get better in my own craft every single day and just be a student of what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And one thing I admire from you too, especially being on set, because there's a lot of people who say they direct, but they don't know how to talk to actors. And you're very gracious while you're giving direction to where the actor feels empowered, but also you're getting what you need by knowing how to talk to them. Everybody don't have that sensibility, which I feel like it makes the difference between somebody who's good at what they do and great at what they do. And I admire you for that. Is that something you learned from like just being a parent, or just learning how to have that delicate touch because you're around people that you know sensitive and fragile and you don't want to hurt their spirits?
Artists, they're artists and they're sensitive about their ish, you know what I'm saying? But no, I think part of it was I have an acting background myself. I started out as an actress working in theater and then parlaying that into doing film, trying to do film and commercials on my own. And so just knowing what I went through, knowing what kind of classes I went through, seeing how the different teachers, even how they talk to people. And I know how it is to be like bombarded with information and to be embarrassed in front of people. And the more you try to like do what it is that they're asking you to do, the more that your performance just suffers for that. And so I always
be more urban.
Yes. Like, what does that mean? I need you to, so as you know, I lead with questions. Why are you saying what you're saying? Because I feel like once you understand the motivation and what the subtext is behind the dialogue, then it's going to come out right. You're just going to live in the moment. And so I'm always, looking for ways for my actors to get to the point where they're living in the moment. And I really feel like anybody that's directing should, if they haven't acted before, take an acting class, so you know what that feels like. And then you understand what the process is to get someone from 0 to 60 if they need to cry or to be angry in a scene or whatever the case may be. But just to keep it in a really authentic place.
That's awesome. And so speaking of having kind words while criticizing at the same time, my friend Natasha Ward, man, I've had such a pleasure of getting to know you and watching you grow while I've been growing too. So I had a chance. I met you like probably over 10 years ago.
Over 10
and I was at the club. Was it a comedy spot first and then the club, or just the club?
It did. It turned it was one of the starts out comedy and then goes into.
And we were dancing, found out you was from the South. And she's like, I do casting. I'm like, I'm going to see you one day. I'm going to be somebody.
He said, I'm going to be somebody.
I'm going to be somebody.
Day. Just watch me.
And I'm here.
You're here.
But I had a chance to work with you because one thing I learned, and this is what I learned, especially being an artist, you got to be a student of the craft. You can't just act and understand one side of it. You got to find out what's on the other side. And sometimes you don't know what you're not doing wrong until you're in a room watching other people do the wrong that you've been doing. And for me, I wanted to learn how to read. Like I wanted to like be in the casting room and actually read. So I called you and I said, hey, look, I would love to help you read while you're casting because I want to learn what casting look for. Because sometimes, again, you don't know what you do. A lot of uhs and ums and a lot of walking in with no confidence, not knowing how to control the room, nervous, wardrobe malfunctions, just so much stuff that we bring into the room instead of just bringing our authentic selves and being clear about who we are and who our character is. And I was like, I wanted to read. And I had so much fun with you and I learned a lot too. And it's like, after I read the role and I saw what you liked out of certain people, I'm like, that's all it was?
That blew your mind.
That's all it was. Half of it is just showing up. And the other half is just being prepared. And you would be amazed at how many people are not prepared when they can come in that room. And at least being clear about your character or having a clear choice to where I can give you direction, where you're coachable. It's overwhelming. And one thing I always tell you too, like I'm very proud of how you handle people in the room. Because I've seen people have meltdowns in the room and you're like, it's okay. It's fine. It's that mama voice like, baby, it's all right. Bless your heart. Listen, get yourself together. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes and let you do it again. Like that is very helpful to an artist who's trying. Because again, you coming in with all your hangups, your insecurities and dumping all that in the room and it ain't none of your business.
It's not.
And you could destroy them if you want to, but you choose not to. Is that something you learned from being a parent as well, or just over time learning how to handle actors?
I think it's all of that. Being a woman, being sensitive, just, being a parent. My daughter's now 19, so it's still like I want to.
Grown.
But then, too, I've worked with some amazing people throughout the years and learned so much. Like you said, 14 years. So, and it's just you treat people how you really want to be treated. Like, I don't want someone to leave my office and be upset, frustrated, mad, go punch somebody in the face.
Suicide watch because
that's
you crushed them.
You know what I mean? So you just don't do that. I'm not here to break down dreams. I'm here to help build and create and grow with you. You know what I mean? Because that's the joy of the whole job is to call someone and be like, you booked it. It's from what we did in the room or how much we worked together or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
So it's an interesting thing. Like, I've literally been the same person my entire life. I just didn't know I got a platform to be crazy that makes me money now. Like I was a weird little kid. I used to make a bunch of voices and noises and stuff like that. And now all this stuff makes me money.
Yeah.
Did you know that you always had what you have? Because both of you two have to have vision in order to do what you do. You can't just show up and be like, I'm a director one day and not have vision, because it's so many different layers to like, what is it? A shot list. The sensibility of the character you want, like you got to hire a certain kind of character that can convey what you want. You got to have vision for that. Have you always been that person, or you kind of learned it along the way, or it's a combination of both?
It's been a combination of both. I think if anybody looks back to their younger self kid, and you already know who you're supposed to be, and you just don't even realize it yet sometimes. Because I grew up as a foster kid, but I was fortunate enough to have a couple of my siblings that lived in the house with me. And I was placed with an uncle when I was about 8 years old. And I remember writing plays and forcing my siblings to perform. I would make them do rehearsal. Y'all gonna get these lines together.
Right.
We're gonna perform this during Thanksgiving dinner. You know, like I was actually writing stories and doing that at a very young age. And then fast forward, you know, years later, while I was still in college in Chicago, I don't even remember when I wrote this, but I went back into one of my journals once I got here to LA, and I had written in my journal, I think I'm supposed to be a director. And it blew me away because I don't even remember when I wrote that, what led me to write that. But again, something in me like always knew that that's what I was supposed to do, I think. Yeah. And so it's just really been a natural progression. I spent several years, about 8 years working in banking. So that's totally out of the realm of creativity. But at the same time, while I was there, I was working as a project manager. So working as a project manager and then also doing acting on the side, once I started directing,
it was the setup.
It married everything that I had
I used to be an accountant and I did sales.
Yeah.
And it's all like comedy is math to me. And then sales is learning how to talk to people and getting what you need without acting like a consumer.
Absolutely.
One thing I've always admired about you too, Tasha, is like the gift of translating stuff in people's head and articulating it to where they get what they need. Like people have stuff in their head all the time, but everybody can't articulate. Even in a relationship, people like they'll start an argument in the middle. I'm like, how was I supposed to know that? Because you didn't even tell me what you really needed. And I have to figure out what you need, and that's your job. Somebody has this dope script. Yep. They have all these characters that have never like tangibly been seen before, and you have to take what's in their head and on that paper and translate that. Is that a gift that you've always had, like most of your life, or you kind of acquired that along the way? Because that's hard.
I acquired it.
It's like being a wedding planner, almost.
Yeah, because that's something I wouldn't even have any desire to do. I started out, you know, in culinary arts. I was going to be a chef, open a restaurant, do the whole nine, and then came here to visit, and then, you know, just kind of opened up this whole new box of things to do, because I had I didn't know what a casting director did, what the studio did, what the director did. It was all fresh and new. I mean, I had, my sister was already in the business, so I, you know, kind of sat with her or whatever.
Had access,
but for me, it was
I met your sister too,
brand new. Lamise Williams,
Was she a manager or something?
She's a manager.
I do remember that. That is so funny.
Yep.
That is so funny.
Now she's in New York as well. It's bi-coastal.
Okay.
So she's over there. She taught me almost, you know, all the basics.
You taught me what a manager does.
I did.
I had a conversation about that. I was like, what is a manager? And you was like, a manager's more hands-on and blah, blah, blah. And an agent is... I'm like...
It. And that's exactly how I start my story every time.
That is hilarious.
So you're right. Absolutely.
That is so funny. I just had a moment just now.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, teaching. But it was learned, and it's something that I wanted to learn quickly, too. You have to learn that quickly. But it's, you know, like we just had a screening premiere yesterday at UTA for a pilot presentation that I did. And it was the first time that I had met the director, was at the screening. Like,
really?
He cast it beautifully. I mean, that was, you know, cool. I mean, all of that. But it's when someone hires you to do your job and they know you can do it and they let you go.
Yeah.
Like, that's my best creative space, my everything. Like, I can give you everything you need if you just let me go.
Yeah.
And, you know, we check in, of course, you know, daily.
Don't micromanage me. Let me be great.
Just let me be great. And it always works when I'm in those situations.
And so what was your first project like? Doing Fat Albert? Like, did you have this weight of, I got to make sure it's perfect? Or you was like, let's have fun and figure this thing out?
Man, it was party. That was it. That's all. I mean, because I was interning at first. I interned for about 4 weeks, and then the assistant had quit Sunday night. So when I came in on Monday, they offered me her job.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things to where, and when they offered me her job, they said, if you stop partying so much, they'll give it to me. Because I'm telling you, I partied all day.
In these streets. And we met in the club.
Because I was visiting. You know, essentially, I wasn't living here.
You got a network.
Technically.
Yeah, you got a network is what it's calling.
Yeah.
You got an LAU network during the week.
So many amazing people that were coming into the office, and we were the same age, so they was like, after, like B2K was hot then. You know what I mean? So it was like, hey, you want to come to this party? You want to? Absolutely. So every day.
Do I?
It was partying and, nonstop, but I was still focused on the job, though.
Of course.
Even though it was stapling papers and, going to get Starbucks and all of that, I did it the best that I could, no matter what. And then they taught me. They wanted to, because I was so open, they were like, well, we'll teach you everything you need to know.
That's so cool.
And they did.
And what did you learn from that first project?
To never make the same mistake twice. And if you do not know the answer, tell them, hold on, I'll be right back. Let me go get it for you. And then you just come back with the right answer, but you just keep going.
Yeah. Those
are my first two main points that I had to, get hit over the head first. And then.
Dope. And so the Reason was not your first film, right?
No.
What was your first film?
My first film was called The Birthday.
The Birthday.
Yes.
Okay. Turn up.
Yeah. So
and what did you learn from that project? Because I was told that in Hollywood, if you want to be a director or a producer, like your first project tells you everything you need to know. Just shoot it and you'll learn it. What did you learn about the process when you did that?
I think really The Birthday was kind of a breeze because it was only like 3 cast members, and I was directing, I was acting in it, and so I really wasn't challenged as a director. And I had a really great DP, so I didn't need to know anything about angles or lighting or anything like that. So really where I got my feet wet was really on The Reason. And what I learned from that is don't be in the lead actor role and produce and direct and pay for everything. Like, no, absolutely not. So now, I may still produce projects, but usually if I'm going to be in it, which more so now, I want to be able to give other actors an opportunity and not be in that role at all. So I typically will just be behind the scenes. But if I do step in front of the camera, then I'm giving someone else an opportunity to come on and direct me and to, step into that role. Also, I learned to stay in my lane as a director, because one of the things is you have to be able to trust your team. And I had a great team and a great person that was kind of my assistant director that kept saying to me, go back to your actors, go back and deal with your shots, go look at your lighting, like, let me handle lunch, let me handle this, let me handle that. So it was a great learning for me to trust the team and not feel like I need to go do everything and just give my directive and keep it moving and go focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. Because when you do that, to your point, Natasha, when you do that, you empower people to do the job that you ask them to do. Yeah. Then they're going to give you their best work. And so those were probably the biggest things that I learned.
Yeah. What about, is there any advice you would give to a director who's working on a project with a really, really thin budget? Like the least they should do? Because one thing I appreciate about you fed us.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. That means if you feed me and give me an IMDb credit, I would consider coming back.
Yes, sir.
But if I don't get no IMDb credit and you ain't got no water, I did a project in the desert one time. We ain't had no water.
Oh,
they ain't had no snacks, and I'm sitting here like. And it was a little favorite. It was like, dude, and then I found out it's supposed to be a short. They turned into a whole feature film.
Oh, wow.
Well, you gotta do one raggedy. Or 2 of those, to kind of.
But don't
understand.
Don't undersell me and tell me, it's gonna be a little. Because I'm thinking I'm gonna do a couple of pages, and they start adding pages, and I found out they added a whole nother tail end to the movie. It was a full feature.
Wow. So
Has
you didn't
it
get
come
feature money?
It was trash.
Okay.
The person is no longer with us.
Okay. Oh.
I didn't do nothing to him, but it's just, life
just
happened.
So happened.
Yeah, just so happened. But man, it was just, I was like, you don't do people like that. But you should let people know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And feed them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the least you do.
You gotta let them know.
Yeah. I think I am the worst salesperson in the world. My pitch is like, you want to buy it? No? Okay. Like, that's it. But when it comes to like being on set, if I don't have the budget, I'm opening up my mouth. I'm calling everybody and anybody, every organization, every, company, every person that I possibly can to try and get, what I can for the low. Like, I hate to say it like that, but at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do. And I always want to make sure that on my set, there's an atmosphere of love, support. There's an atmosphere where people feel like they're being heard, that they feel like they're contributing, and that they feel taken care of on set. And that includes the food. So I try hard not to do pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want you to have a meal. Yeah, let me go. I'll go get some chicken real quick. We'll get
cheese crunchy.
We'll do something. But I'm not, so I just really think that those are the things that I put the most of my budget into, is making sure that the actors are taken care of on set. So whether that's making sure we have proper budget for food, proper budget for whatever we need in terms of snacks and things like that, I definitely do focus on how does everyone feel on set and what are we doing. You'll catch me on set fanning an actor because we had to turn off the air conditioner. Like,
of course,
I don't care. Like, I'm here to serve. Like, I'm a child of God, and so He came to serve. So that's my role on set, not to be served. And so that's that's how I approach it at all times.
And so, Tasha, one thing I have to say I appreciate about you is you've always been honest with me about my journey. You haven't done me any favors just because I'm your friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you made me work for it, which is cool. Is there, and I have to say this because I know comedians are listening, is there anything or advice you could give young comedians? Because for some reason, people think because I'm good at stand-up, I'm automatically a good actor. And they have no clue the amount of work that you have to go through to become who you are. Is there any advice or common things you've seen comedians, their perception versus what's real, that you can give them advice on?
Stop yelling. That's the first one, because you think you have to project your voice because you're, usually you're on stage, but it's only us two in the room usually. The camera will pick up every sound. You don't have to yell. You don't have to exaggerate. The physical comedy of it all, tone it down. It's more of a real life situation. And it's really about actually doing the work. A lot of times I see people come straight from the stage to the office. And I'm not saying, literally, but they think they can just get up and go. Or they can, you have to literally take that material, study that material. If there's the script, really do the script. You can't just show up. And a lot of times I feel like the comedians just show up as opposed to really, really putting in the work or taking that time.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. It's learn your craft. Actually get in an acting class. It is innate. It is in you. You do have already a special gift that people want to see. Yeah. Just kind of tailor it. Yeah. Pull it in.
And I've had a long journey, man. Like, honestly, I finally now I'm in the place of the thing I dreamed of is happening now. I'm a dad on a TV show, 20 episodes on Nickelodeon, and hilarious. 20 episodes on Nickelodeon, and woohoo! Based on what I thought I was doing and where I am now, it's like completely different. And it was just being clear, really. Because to me, comedy is discovery, but acting is discovery too. And knowing what you do and why you do it. Learning. Yeah, it's so amazing to be in this space now. And I can stand here like in front of you like, it happened. Yeah. The moment we had the club, like it finally happened. And it's like so dope that all my dreams are coming true.
It happened a long time ago.
Man, it's just so crazy. Like, I was always on the right path. But again, sometimes it's just what you dream and see being manifested in the real world. I'm here now, but it's dope to actually have both of you all here as well. Another thing, if this too personal, let me know. But how do y'all? I always admire both of y'all too. How do you manage to have these powerful positions and still be a mom too? Like, it seems like such a hard balance to do both and still keep your head right, because particularly being women of color, basically every time you walk out the door, you're a target in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And you can walk around here with bitterness and grief and anger, but you still, both of you handle yourselves in such a graceful way, and you do what you do with class and like grace. And how do you manage all that and still keep your head right?
It was hard in the beginning, for sure. Being a single parent, having a young child when I first got here. I didn't tell, like, my first 5 jobs or whatever that I was even a mom, because then you can't work the long hours that we need you to. You're going to call in. Your child's going to get sick. Then you're not going to be here. There was no days off. There was no, I can't do this, I can't do that. So if there was anything that restricted you, and of course, like you said, already being a woman, already this, already that, there was a lot, and she was too young to to leave at home when I'm out or any of that other kind of stuff. And my niece was here, but she was in school during the day. That's how I could party at night, because she could just go over there. But there was, that was it. There wasn't anyone else really here.
Yeah, no community.
I didn't have a community yet, and other people here, the actors, they didn't have any kids. So
right.
I might have had one friend, and I had to force my kid to be their kid's friend. Like, you gonna be
y'all gonna be friends,
so we can hang out or whatever the case. So it was really hard. It got just to not be able to say you even have a kid, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Is difficult. But as she got older and as my focus was, more targeted and my community opened up, it started getting easier.
Yeah.
And now that she's 19 and in Florida, doing her thing, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten easy.
Yeah. What about you?
How old is your daughter?
I have a son. He's 8.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it was really a blessing to have my grandmother here. So
Nice.
she ended up coming to visit and decided she was going to stay for like 3 years. And
man.
she really kept him while I was working and things like that. But, for me, I'm excited to be a mom, but I also have other identities as it relates to like what God called me to do. Yeah. And so I always felt like my son was never a hindrance for me. He just enhanced my grind. He just made me have to do it smarter and to be more focused about how I grinded. And so for me, I would take him to rehearsals. Like everybody knows, like I'll roll up in the stroller talking about, okay, let's get this directing going. Like I'm let me see your scene. You know what I'm saying? I would take him to places. Now I take him on set. He's pretty much on set with me most of the time when I'm doing stuff.
Crafty.
Out there talking about action. Like you hear his little voice on the video talking about action, starting the actors to go. He's doing the slate. He's learning angles and all these different things. And in fact, when he was, I don't know, 6 months, when he was 1 year old, he was in a Cadillac commercial. So I popped him out and kept on going. So it's just really a matter of like, what do you want? Or do you really want to do this? Do you really want to do your craft? I feel like a lot of times actors or just people in general in the industry get here and they feel like they have to put their life on hold and not do anything outside of just their craft. And the best piece of advice that I got from a casting director when I first got here was live. Because not a lot of people make it to the level that everybody envisions. Yep. And even if you do, you're going to get to that place and then realize that you put a hold on family or a hold on love.
Trophies and no memories.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to do that. You can live your life. You can have love. That can be a foundation for you. You can have a kid. That can be a foundation for you. And you can still grind. Because anything that God orders, he will pay for and he will make provision for. And so anything that's brought into your life will enhance that. It won't take it away. So I would say, for me, it was just a matter of what do I want and appreciating the resources that I had and the people that were here for me and loved me and cared about me, but being relentless and unapologetic in going after my grind because my son sees that. He sees work ethic.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't have to sit at home and not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not a sit-at-home mom. And so he sees me out working and now he's out there with me and I know that he's going to be that way as well. So, yeah.
So one thing I've learned along the way is I take very great pride in creating a legacy where even when I'm not here, the things I do will still live on. I got this really dope podcast called Two Piece Podcast. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the podcast is basically the small print that comes along with success. Mm-hmm. We always talk about the end journey, but we don't talk about the headaches, the hiccups, the depression, the life, when life kick you in the stomach, you got to keep we don't talk about that stuff a long way. So again, my podcast was for people, particularly men, to have some type of starting point when you want to do better in life. Also, I feel like legacy separates you from being good and great.
Yep.
Like, I've noticed most of the entertainers and athletes that have things they've done to actually make other people's lives better, their legacy outstands. Like LeBron James opening up a school. Like, he's just such a perfect example of somebody who not only is he great on the court, but off the court, he's a great dad. He's, done all this community work, and I just think it speaks to his legacy where even when he's not around anymore, he left his thumbprint on the world. And for me, I do a lot of public speaking with kids. Like yesterday, I spoke at this event at USC called Higher Learning LA, where basically took inner city kids from Oakland and had them have a chance to see see campus life, and I spoke to him basically about the journey and like the fact that there's other options besides being a rapper and an athlete. Because every time I do career days, that's all kids want to be, and there's nothing wrong with it, no shade. But if you tear an ACL or something like that, you got to have a plan B. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I want them to know that you can be a product of an environment that may not be conducive to success and still be successful in that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure I make more money than both my parents. I own a home in LA. I do what I love for a living. I travel the world, got my own TV show, and like it's a dope feeling. And that's one thing I admire about both of you. Like every project I've ever seen you do, it had heart to it. It wasn't just a let me just get this done so I can get this money thing. It had heart to it, and you were passionate about it. I can tell by the way you conduct yourself on set and even by the script. And Tasha, you do a lot of workshops, which is giving back because people walk in your room, they pour their whole heart out, pour their soul out. They frustrated, wall slide, crying because they didn't get a chance to get it out. And you have a workshop to give them the tools to where if they do the work, they can see you and like not have that moment. What made you even want to start doing workshops?
I actually have a workshop tonight at SAG.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
7:30 p.m. Come through, y'all. But yeah.
Do you post them somewhere when you have a workshop?
Sometimes. We casting directors are kind of getting a lot of slack, a lot of heat right now with the workshops, and the actors feel like they pay for the audition when it's not that. Like you said, that's a place where you can get in front of me, and it's not invasive or intrusive. You get to actually come and learn, ask your questions. And that's one of my biggest
Did you post it on Instagram? Or is it only
This
union?
one is only for SAG
Union?
participants.
Yeah.
But I will post it, when I do have them. But it's like mostly all of my projects are someone in there has been in a workshop of mine. Somewhere this is my student or this is this. And, a lot of them now have gone on to do all kind of crazy stuff. But it's a great safe space to where you're not judged and you don't have that pressure of, my appointment time's at 11:15. I got there a little late or, all of that kind of stuff. You can really come in, ask whatever you want to know, and we work it out. We get it to where, you need to be. I do private coaching for that reason as well.
Absolutely. I remember doing your workshop, man, and I had a ball. I remember it being a real fun environment. And you were very, again, gracious with the comments and
I will definitely shoot it straight from the hip.
Yeah.
You got to know what it really, really is. You know what I mean? Because if you walk your head out, and even like the interns or anyone that I have in my office, like if some actor is done and they're like, oh, that was great. I'm like, hey, you, no, don't give that. Because if it wasn't great, I'm not going to let you leave knowing, I'll let you know, like, you know what, it's not going to go any further or whatever the case may be, if I feel that way, but I don't want you to feel a certain way when it's definitely not that. Because that leaves with you and you're like, oh yeah, man, they was in the room and they was like, this was great. And this is like, it wasn't.
False sense of reality.
Yeah.
It's so funny, like the nuance that's attached to what you do too. It's so like crazy. Like the fact you have to say she cute, but she ain't like
that cute.
Cute for the project, like sexy enough for the project. Like that, it's so many nuances to it. It's not even in a bad way. It is what it is. It's like, is this sexy marketable?
We have little like NHE would be for that. Not that? Hot enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Or, little bitty little clues or little things that we, use. Because it is.
She's stripper weird. Fine, but she ain't like leading lady fine.
She ain't leading lady fine. She ain't the girl next door. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. So, but that's why you have to just come in and do what you were supposed to do. You come in, you leave it there, because it's so many different variables
that you can't even control.
You can't control at all.
So if you're listening right now, you listen to the Comedy Pop-Up podcast, and I'm in the studio with Meiko. Meiko. I'm sorry, I keep saying Mike.
How long have you known me, Ron?
Forever.
Adding stuff.
Forever.
Adding letters.
Just adding letters.
And Tasha casting. And I'm like, we're actually talking about casting, which again, like, it's such a specific nuance that most people don't know. Like, is there anything that you want to tell an actor or a comedian right now that they might not know about the process? Because there's so much stuff that you deal with that we don't know, that we take personal because your silence is so powerful to us.
Yeah, it is.
We feel like you're the gatekeeper to our dreams. But we don't know, like, you're just one door in the mansion of the dream. But we just like, is there anything that we don't know that would give us more clarity on the anxiety that comes along with being in your office?
So many different things though in that, because you really have to just show up. Like you said earlier, it's really about showing up and having that work ethic beforehand. Like before you get into the office, just having those sides down packed, having that script read, fully focused on just that audition for that 10 minutes you're there. Or if the wait is long, however long that is, a lot of time people get distracted by who's in the lobby, who's this, who's that. And it's just, this is your time. You come in, you knock it off, drop it off, and then, peace out.
Right. All that talking in the lobby, don't talk to me. I don't like that.
Don't talk to nobody.
Don't talk to me. You talk when if I'm going up and I leave out, then we can talk. Don't talk to me before you know I'm about to go up. Don't say nothing to me. There's so many people
that actually do that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen guys in the lobby take their shirts off and just walk around with no shirt and like try to, punk other guys or telling other people notes. Oh, they not doing this scene. When you get in there, you're like, oh, yeah, well, I heard, you weren't doing this. Did I tell you that?
That's trash.
So people sabotage you before you get in the room, too. So it's about do what you came to do.
Yeah. Have you casted for most of your stuff? You go?
Yep. You do it yourself?
Yeah.
How's that
I need
process?
to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep doing it. No, I have. And everything that you're saying is on point in terms of coming into the room. I, too, try to be really, sensitive and just supportive and positive. And some people I'm just like, yeah, that's not going to work. I'm not as blunt, though. I don't be like, nah, I don't want you to think that was good. I usually I cast at a place where we have to give notes afterwards, which is cast, because then you can use the space for free. So they do get my notes afterwards, and I usually will. That? Yeah, they do, and I usually will tell them like what it was that kept them from getting the role or whatever the case may be, or I'll give them pointers.
Oh, on the site when you upload your video, you have to tell them what happened.
Well, you have to give them comments or feedback.
Yeah.
See, to me, that's the worst part. Yeah. I hated typing.
Yeah.
Like even when agents email or whatever, I don't want to type.
Yeah.
What it is. I'm like, pick up the phone and call me because I can, explain it a little better.
Yep.
Make it something,
it can
or whatever it is.
Not have no feeling attached to it and sound real harsh.
Just like a text message.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get how I'm delivering it because I'm just chilling when I say it, but you take it a whole nother way.
That's how y'all be talking to women. Y'all talking text messages.
Yeah.
I'm good.
But they can watch the video.
That's enough.
But what does that I'm good mean? Is that sarcastic? Condescending? Nice, nasty? I'm good? Or... are you really good?
Are you really good?
Too much.
Oh, you didn't know from the text message I wasn't good? I'm having a moment, y'all. Sorry, go ahead.
That's how I feel, though.
No. But I mean, they do watch the videos and they get to see the feedback. And usually I just will stick to whatever, things that I saw that they could do better in terms of their acting and their craft. You can tell when someone's really green and when someone, is very seasoned with what they do. And a lot of times I've had the pleasure of seeing the person, like, when we're casting, like, have you had that where you just, that's the person? You just know that's it.
It's beautiful,
They encompass everything. I've had scripts where I had it be one nationality and I changed the nationality because the person that auditioned for the role killed it so much. And it was like, there's no way that I can have anybody else do this role. So, And I feel like a good piece of advice that I've gotten is to go into the room like you don't need anything from anyone. So just go in the room and just know that
my life motto.
Yeah, you came to give what it is, whatever God-given gift he gave you. So just come into the room, kill the game, like she said, and then go live your life.
So what about this? Because you said this to me, and I think I almost fainted laughing. You said people have smells that come in the room.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's a smell. Mm-hmm. Like, you can lose an audition because of your smell.
I can take a bath. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Get that house smell?
It's so many different
smell
things.
Like a little boy. You come in the audition smelling like a puppy.
It's so many different things that will turn off in the
What's bare minimum you need to do this in order to
take a
bathe?
You definitely need to
presentable.
Bathe. You got to look presentable. You have to come in with confidence. You have to have your material with you. You have to have your headshot and resume without any excuses. Oh, so-and-so didn't send that to you. Oh, I just gave my last one out yesterday, and, all of that stuff. So come in without any excuses.
Yeah.
Come in ready to work, sign in, sit down, wait your turn, come in. Don't start off trying to handshake, any of that other kind of stuff. Just come in, say your hello, hi. If you know the person, then you can maybe hit a little bit, another one-liner or something like that. But get on your mark and go.
How important is it to actually dress up for the role? 'Cause some people have on a full nurse outfit or
It
full
works,
cop. Does it?
Show it to me.
Yeah.
If
so you don't
you're
care either
coming
way.
in for a cop and you got that blue button-up shirt, absolutely wear
Go for it.
If you're a homeless guy, maybe your shirt has some holes in it, but don't skip on the shower. Don't skip on certain
Method actor.
things. Like you don't
Smell
have
like
to go
outside.
that deep.
Yeah.
And your first auditioning, you might have to get there a little later. But for that initial audition, you don't have to go that far. And a lot of times now we do a lot of self-tapes. And I get to where people actually full-on act out a whole entire scene.
Which is okay, right?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
Hey, my buddy, he set up the whole scene. I'm like, you did
too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a line of this is great and it's quality. Cause like there's I was in the office when they were doing Snowfall and
I love that show, by the way.
The guy who, Bear, El Oso or whatever, he did his audition where he was in a wrestling ring and he did the thing, but the tape was clear, crystal clear. The acting was on point. The person who was in the scene with him was always off camera in a sense. And it was just a great piece of work. You really felt like it was a real scene. But then, I auditioned this thing the other day and the girl actually got into the shower, turned the shower on, had a towel wrapped around her and like really was in the whole part of it all. The other person, he came in, walked in the room, and was talking to her while she's in the shower. Like it was a whole mess. You can hear the water
production.
running.
Yeah.
Like, it was just stop. So don't go too far, minimize, less is more. But definitely wear, something that works. And if there's no costume or anything like that, dress,
decent.
For girls, dress in color, no all black. Wear your heels, ladies, take them right off when you have to, but you wear your heels, you wear your lipstick, your lip glosses, your bright colors for guys, wear shirts that are going to show off your muscles if that's, what the role calls for.
Show off these B cups.
Them, set it off.
Welcome to the gun show.
You should definitely know as an actor what colors look great on you and what styles. Like
you should know your look.
You should know your look, and definitely always, because that'll also, turn somebody off.
That is so funny. My homegirl, I dated this girl one time, and my homegirl was cool with the girl. And I stopped dating the girl, and the girl was like, yeah, she trying this little hairstyle now, and she too grown not to know her look. When I tell that's the funniest phrase ever, because I know what she meant. Because by a certain age, you should know your look.
You should know.
You should know.
That does not work. My eyes are too big for this, so am I this, or whatever.
So for both of you, either one can chime in. How has social media affected your process? Because I know now with social media, I'm sure they're making you see people who got big numbers but ain't got no chops.
Yes. Every day.
To the comedians that's listening right now and the actors that's listening, how does social media affect your screening process?
I don't mind it because I like to laugh, and most of that stuff on social media cracks me up all day. So it's fun for me. It's taking the jobs away and, it's doing this. But so is the guy that was sitting next to you. He might have took your job. Well, ain't no taking of a job. But you know what I mean? It's so many jobs out here. It's enough for everybody. Mm-hmm. You have to just know your lane. And if taking pictures of your food all day is not your speed, then don't force it. I don't have this and I'm not going to be seen because of this. That's probably not why you're going to be seen anyway. You know what I mean? Like, focus on what works for you. And it works for them. Now, a lot of them happen to be talentless in terms of the acting. Yeah. So it makes it harder because you are now a lot of times forced to hire someone who doesn't have it, but out of the group, you try to get the best out of those.
The best of the worst?
Whatever. Yeah, the best of the worst.
Yeah.
And then the studio, the network, the producer, they see that it doesn't work after a while, and then I'm having to recast or find someone else in that realm. But, you got to try it out, though, because you get so much from a social influencer. You're getting publicity, you're getting, all of that other kind of stuff. So it fits. This is where we're going. We're on our phone more than we're on anything else. So we got.
I agree. What about you? Has social media affected your process at all? In either casting or?
Yeah, not really, because I really just want great actors. So I'm still kind of in that realm of...
You old school.
If you brought... Yeah, I'm still kind of in that realm if you brought it. Now, if I have two actors that are kind of neck and neck and one has more following, but not just following, but engagement, then I might, lean more towards that person just because, they may be willing to promote and things like that. So, it is something that I will look at, but I usually don't use that as it relates to determining who I'm going to cast. But I'm also at a level right now where I choose who I want to bring in the project. Yeah. I'm usually the executive producer as well, which is about to change. But for now, I have a little bit more autonomy in terms of who I can bring on.
Yeah. Now,
see, I even post on social media for people to hit me. So it helps me so much too. Like, hey, I'm looking for, if I need something on the fly too, I can hit it and it'll get spread all over if I'm looking for this or if I want this, or just posting different jobs, because a lot of times, a lot of these social people too aren't even represented. So they don't know the process either of what the actor has already learned of the manager, the agent, self-submitting, submitting, and getting called in. So a lot of times it's their first audition. So you kind of understand that. So then I'll work with you on that front to get it there, like, the Baron Davis project we did.
Yeah.
One of the guys, OG Crip Cuz, he wasn't an actor. He was just straight doing his videos, but he was funny. Yeah. And it was like, well, then let's work to get him, and we had, of course, tons of people auditioning and all that other kind of stuff. But
hold on, y'all had tons of people. That was a fun audition, though.
It was fun.
That audition was so fun, but it was
tons.
At least 1,000 people in that room.
Wow. It was close to not 1,000. it was too many. I saw some Facebook posts about people was
like a BET weekend
talking
event.
About me that day.
It's fun though.
What were they saying?
Just that. BET, it was tons of folks there, and it was like everybody in the comic world was there.
Everybody in your class was in that same room.
Yeah,
okay.
It was one of those.
Yeah. So, question: are all y'all still in these streets trying to find talent? Is that a thing where you go to the comedy clubs and scout?
Always.
Or you go into plays?
I haven't
premieres to check out the talent?
Yeah, you know what? I will go to film festivals, see who's in the films that I really like, and maybe get a chance to talk to some of those actors. A lot of times, though, I just get word of mouth. I get referrals. Yeah. That's mostly how, because at this point, I've been working with a ton of actors, and so I have kind of a core group, as you know.
Of course.
One of them that I'm always hitting up.
We still overdue for another project, though. We overdue for another project.
I got you, homie.
You catch me when I'm still affordable. I'm trying to be unaffordable in 2 weeks. I'm not even lying.
Right there.
No, but see, I have a project that we're working on the funding, and it's very, very close. So I got you.
Oh, it got to be funny.
Yeah. It's not going to be funny. It's going to be dramatic.
So you're going
to have to,
this is what we do.
I'm going to stretch you regardless. I'm going to make sure you're in something where it's not your norm. So
yoga pose.
Sure.
Let's stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am. I do look for talent. People hit me up on social media all the time. So I do use it, that way as well. You are correct. But that's
and I do feel like that's what makes you different too, Tasha. I do see you out. And amongst the people, the common folk.
See what's new, what's this, what's hot. Like I said, I love to laugh, so comedy is my thing. I work with awesome chick, Katrina Nelson. She started this comedy room in Glendale at Sister Mary's Soul Food.
I know what it's at.
Oh, yeah.
That food's so good.
Man, you got to come down. But she does it every other Saturday, and,
Tell her to put me on. I'll do it.
I'm going to tell her to put you on.
I've done that show. I don't know if it was her show, but I did a show there, and that food was so good, man.
It was so good.
That strawberry, I
remember
lemonade.
When you did it.
Strawberry lemonade.
So it's like I'm out. Now the plays though, I had to kind of take it back a little bit because they just be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
What does oh my gosh mean?
How do you find any talent that you need that's dramatic? Because I hear you go to the comedy club, so that makes sense for if you're looking for comedic talent. But what if you're looking for something that's not necessarily comedic?
They actually work both ways. like Ron just said, I want something dramatic.
Yeah.
And you want to do that. Like with Afion, we put him in something and it was full dramatic. And it's like, that's what they want to do. So it's a lot of time of seeing that and going against type where you can see, it's like, oh, I can see Ron can do this or he can do that. Let me give him that shot. Yeah. But also, too, a community, agents are friends and managers are friends. So they're pitching and pushing and, watching every independent film that's on Netflix and doing this. And, just knowing a lot of people from workshops. It's so many different ways. I trip over, somebody walking out. Like right now, I'll guarantee I'm going to run into an actor. Mm-hmm. And like yesterday, I'm producing this web series and was an extra, you know what I mean? So I sat in and met, the other people there as the same because, all hands on deck. So I'm jumping in. So you just meet people everywhere. I do for sure.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Let me tell you what I found the most joy in because I've done my work. Mm-hmm. The character that I'm playing on this TV show is I'm an OCD, clean, straight-laced lawyer dad on a show, which is the exact opposite of who I am. So I feel like I don't have a lot of funny lines, but the joy of looking at these lines and making them funny makes me so happy because I'm getting bigger laughs than the person who got the funny laughs by my responses or
your face.
I always laugh because I like my job every episode is to figure out how to get to the refrigerator and make it look cool. Like every episode I'm in the kitchen going to the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if you think about all the TV shows we grew up watching, Uncle Phil was going to that refrigerator but that's my job on the show. But to try to take unfunny lines and make them funny and try to find out what's on the page that's not really there makes me so happy. The fact that I know what I'm doing now. Like, I can literally coach myself now because I used to pay $100 per audition to go get coaching before this thing. And now I finally booked it and I'm watching on set like, like it's the best training ever. Like, this is what it is. Yeah. This is what it looks like to like,
you got to do that scene.
Yeah, and find stuff that's on the page that's not on the page. Mm-hmm. It's really cool, man.
Mm-hmm. And making clear choices and like really trusting yourself is really important, which a lot of people don't do as much, is fully trust themselves. But you still do. Your level, whatever, but you should definitely get coaching. Until you get to that point.
I'm never against it. I still go to class too.
And class.
I still go to class. I don't even care.
Keep working it.
So this is the $1 million question. I'm gonna ask both of you. You have an answer, cool. If not, we can try to figure it out so the people have a starting point. There's a lot of people out here who act. Yep. Every Uber driver, every bartender, every waitress, every Herbalife consultant, every Herbalife. Everybody out here, every online boutique, Instagram chick is an actor. Yeah. But nobody has an agent.
Yep.
They don't even have headshots half the time. But they're an actor. How do you get an agent? Well, what would be your 2 cents if somebody said, how do I get an agent? How would you direct them on finding an agent?
You have to be ready for an agent, though. So you have to have some kind of headshot. You have to have done some student films.
So my cousin can't just take my pictures and...
No.
I mean, he got a Canon.
They got a process. Well, yes, they can take your pictures, and a lot of times that will at least get you in the door. Mm-hmm. You don't have to spend $800 on pictures. You can get Johnny to do them for $50. But make sure Johnny's not doing them in the bushes. And you
can't put an Instagram filter on it? You can't
Instagram filters.
You can't filter it?
None of that. Like, those look the worst.
The dog filter.
The craziest ones.
The dog filter.
How about I get those, though?
You get a dog filter?
I get those when they submit.
With the dog filter?
I've had the dog filter. I've had some stars on the side. I've had...
The Coachella with the flowers on their forehead? You get that one, too?
I haven't gotten that one yet.
Okay.
But the stuff that I get is ridiculous. So you just have to make sure that whatever you're pitching or submitting is really a representation of you. You don't have to have tons of credits, but you have to have been on set. You have to know what the director does, what the producer does.
So Instagram videos don't count?
They do.
Okay.
They really, really do. Because then we can see your personality, see what you do. But you have to put all of that in a package. Yeah. And then you have to target and know who you want to represent you and why you want them to represent you. A lot of times people I just need an agent because, I said I'm an actor. And it's like, no. What have you done for someone to want to represent you, want to put you out there? Yeah. Because that's part of their day now, is submitting you and pushing you. And then you have to push yourself, too. Like, you have to sign up on these websites, on LA Casting and Now Casting and Actors Access and Casting Frontier and
That background
Casting
work gonna
About.
humble you, boy.
Like I said, I was an extra yesterday.
Ooh.
I had a lot of fun though because it was some strippers, but
That's awesome.
But
I sat in the graveyard for 12 hours with a suit on, doing that Blair Underwood show. It was In Treatment or something like that. I was in a cemetery in Pasadena. It was 100 degrees with a suit on.
But the ladies got to wear the heels all day.
I was on
100-degree weather
on The Mentalist years ago, and it was freezing outside, and it was a tennis scene, so I had to wear a tennis skirt.
Ooh.
And I'm skinny, so I don't hold heat well. It was
That's so southern. I don't hold heat well.
I ain't heard that one.
Freezing.
My knees don't hold heat too well.
No, they do not. So I was like, never again. I can't do it. That's really kind of what sparked me to be a director. I was like, I can't. I
don't hold heat well.
And I can't.
That's one of the words like top heavy. I just that phrase cracked me up.
But we say that all the time. She
real top heavy. Like, what does that mean? Because you know her knees don't hold heat well. All right, cool. Take and she top heavy. She wishy-washy. Like, what? What are you talking about? That's so funny. That's dope. So your suggestion of finding an agent, you said putting the things you have done together and packaging correctly, where somebody wants to be an agent
properly, so that you are attractive to someone else. Now, you don't necessarily have to spend the $700 to do those fake demo reels and all of those kind of things, but if you have YouTube videos and all of those kind of videos, you put that together. The headshots that you do have that look great, and you only need two. One, your serious pose, and then your commercial look. And
welcome to Target.
Yeah, and then you gotta know
welcome to Target pose.
If you need a commercial agent, then an agent, and then a manager. So you got to know the differences in all of that. And like a lot of times when you're just starting, you should only focus on worrying about a commercial agent. Like focus on just that, and then level up. You know what I'm saying? And then that way too, you're making more money. Because those commercials will get you set, and then you can start to fund everything
Let me
else.
tell you something.
I'm trying to tell you.
I've done some cool commercials.
Yep.
And them residual checks, when you at your last little strand of bank account,
and then
they show up with a residual check. They want to renew the contract? Okay.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like,
that's what I'm telling you.
That's so funny. I actually had the best, like my agent said, the best, most amazing thing to me about 2 months ago. I said, man, I grew my hair out. I need to take more headshots. He was like, you don't have to do that. I said, why not? He said, because you're on a TV show. I was like, huh? Do you mean I'm gorgeous? Like, it was the most humbling, because my whole entire life, my agent pushed me off. I used to call her office like, hey, is anything happening? She was like, no, you need new headshots, Ron. I get new headshots. Yeah, it's kind of slow.
You did need some new headshots, though.
It's all good.
I'm just saying. Let's not overlook the fact that you really did.
That was true.
Okay.
I got you. I got you. But to hear him say you don't need headshots anymore, that feeling is amazing. And then while we're on set, they're taking a bunch of promo stuff too, so I probably won't need.
So you'll use those. Those will be like your new headshot. But it is that once you are on a show, you can kind of lag a little bit.
And the difference between how you get treated before you book something and after is amazing. If you're tuning in, let me tell you something.
Yes.
Your whole entire career, you get treated like trash.
Yeah.
Not necessarily blatantly, but just disrespectful. Thank you. We appreciate you stopping by the office.
Yeah.
You don't get no feedback. You just in your feelings. You like, God, do you see me? Am I even supposed to be out here? What is going on? And once you in that audition, they start asking you about your personal life, what you got going on, just to see what your personality is like. The way you get treated, I'm on set, I get 3 meals a day. I get a free haircut every week. Wardrobe, I probably could keep it if I really wanted to, but my character's in a plaid shirt and sweaters every day, so that ain't what I want.
No.
But just, if I need anything, because I'm there from 7 to 5 every day, because I'm on the kids show, I get off a little early. If I need anything, they'll make sure I'm accommodated in any kind of way. I say I need a barber on set. I need somebody with these hands and these clippers to cut my hair. They made sure it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like just...
Like she said, making your actors comfortable to produce the best product that...
Yeah, and when we have a shoot day, we get food, and the food is catered and amazing. And I'm like, if I take a meal home, that's 3 meals that's already been provided for. And I haven't bought food since I've been on this TV show.
That's
unless I wanted to.
That's what I like when I work on shows, too, though.
It's just a dope feeling. But I can also understand how people can become a dick, too. Because if you've been treated like trash most of your career and then you get catered to, and then you might have. I call it that.
But it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't last for long.
Right.
So you have to really ground yourself.
Right.
Because a lot of I've seen it to where you were up here and then now ain't nobody checking for you.
When you got that old glory so sad in Hollywood.
Man.
Oh, I was in the 90s.
When I was
Do you know back in my day. We was doing commercials. We were making 6 figures back when I'm
hot.
Yeah.
You know, I was hot.
Yeah. All these young social media people, they ain't no real comedian. Like, bro, you better get in the game. Stop complaining.
You better flip it.
Because it don't last long.
Now, like, there's some old heads that you remember that, you know, growing up with, they're actually auditioning now. You know, where it's completely changed. They're like, no, Natasha, she'll come in, she'll read for you, you know.
She would love to come in and read.
She would love to come in. And
right, because when I auditioned for this show as a dad, I saw all the dads I grew up watching on TV. And then I heard them, because, again, when you do your work, you kind of listen. So I'm in the room, it's a kid show, and I'm listening, I'm outside the door, and I'm hearing them yell at the kids. And I'm like, you can't yell at kids on a TV show that's about them. You know what I'm saying? Go to your room! I'm like, whoa, what network is this again? It's just crazy, but like I was like, no.
You have to know your audience too, like you said. Like if you're going in for a horror film, then focus that. But if you know you're going for Nickelodeon and this, you have to be bubbly and fun and
you got to find out how to be nice mad. That's something you're not taught in the hood.
Yeah,
nice mad.
You got to be nice mad. Like it's
nice
TV mad.
I'm very nice.
Yeah, it's TV mad. Like, what are you doing? Go to your room. What are you doing? Go to your. You can't be like that. You can't growl at these kids on TV. But
gotta have the
that's
face
something people don't teach you.
Yeah.
So listen, man, it's been a great episode, man. I want to thank y'all so much for joining.
It's over?
Yeah, unless is something else you want to mention?
Oh, wow.
It ain't over. I still got questions. I got a few more questions to wrap it up.
Okay.
But matter of fact, you have something you wanted to mention too.
Yes.
The program you're working on?
Yes, the To Live organization. We're a nonprofit organization here in Los Angeles. We actually have a facility that we are in escrow to purchase. It is a home in Studio City, and basically it will be a facility that's open to the public. So what we want to do is roll out an artist development program where we want to alleviate some of the artists that come here that have so much talent, but they're stuck living in their cars or whatever the case may be. So we'll have a 6-month program that artists can apply to. They can come and live in the home for free for 6 months and actually be mentored and be able to work on their craft. In addition to that program, we also have the facility open to the public where they can come in and use computer labs if they want to write a script or, you know, we'll have a music studio. They can cut an EP. They can come and screen a film. They can rent the place out if they want to film something. We really just want to give back to the artist community. We are in the business of cultivating, connecting, and catapulting people into their purpose and their future. So
what is the requirement to stay there?
Yeah, well, there's an entire application that you'll have to fill out. We do want to work with artists that are they need to just get over that hump. They're there, they've done the work, they have their following, or they have some materials. So they just need that one little push, or that one little opportunity to be able to live here in Los Angeles and really connect with the people they need to know and be able to move further in their craft. So we wanted to offer that up to the public. Awesome. People can go onto our website, www.tolive, and it's the number 2, L as in Larry, I, and then 3 V's, vvv.org. You can also donate to our organization to sponsor the artists as they come into the home. So, yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's pretty cool, because I know sometimes people out here take pride in the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
Like you have a degree, but you're too prideful to go to work because you think your career gonna take off. You ain't got no agent, no headshots, and I do not feel bad for any of those people.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be a starving artist. I've always had a job.
It's a choice.
Dream.
I worked a 9 to 5 till my dream made sense.
Yes.
I didn't sleep, and this is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish I know.
What'd you say?
That's pretty awesome though, because I've had tons of actors who would sleep in their car, come sleep on my couch.
Yeah.
So
you gonna refer them to the
man? Well, those days are over. Well, not technically, actually. Now that I think about it, but I definitely.
Everybody might know somebody, but even if they have a place to live, they may not have the resources to write that script because they can't afford $700 of software. So they can come to this facility and be able to get online and do that. You know what I mean? So I think that it's just going to be a great place where artists can really come and grow, and we're super excited to be able to provide
LA
that.
is the weeding process. If you can make it, because it's so expensive out here, you can find if you're really serious about what you really believe in.
Yes, absolutely.
If not, you're going to start doing porn.
Man. I had this one audition. We just started talking because you could tell he was going through something. So we just, I was like, well, what's up? So we started talking, and not even 5 minutes into the conversation, he was like, yeah, well, it started going bad when I had to start selling myself to men. And I was like,
oh, wow. Okay. Just share.
But it was like, we kept the conversation going, and, we still communicate now and all of that. But the stuff that these, actors are going through and have to go through is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
So hopefully our program can alleviate some of that. You don't have to lower your standards. You can maintain your standard and be able to grow and really move in your career and your purpose. So,
well, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
So again, I want to thank both of y'all for coming on the show, man. I'm glad y'all made time for me. I feel pretty lucky y'all stopped by to check on old Ron.
Stop it. Thank you for having
so listen, before we get out of here, I have this little segment I do where we don't small talk on the show. I'm not good. I suck at small talk. So we ask y'all questions. There's no right or wrong answer. We're gonna try to get it done in under a minute. So hopefully y'all can answer. There's no right or wrong answer. You can feel free to answer however you want to. So before we leave,
is it like her, like how?
There's no right or wrong answer. If you don't want to answer, just say I don't want to answer. All right, cool.
Okay.
First question: what sound or smell reminds you of home?
Laundry.
Any particular fabric softener?
Tide.
Said like an old black woman. Tide.
Steam from the radiator.
I'm tired.
It's a sound.
Huh?
Sound of the steam from the radiator.
Radiator?
I don't know about no radiator. Where did you grow up?
Chicago.
So you grew up outside. What is that? Huh?
They have steam radiators in a lot of the homes there.
In the house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that big thing that's on the?
Yep.
It has steam?
Yeah, because it's a steam radiator, and the people that know, like, you don't get to control the heat. So
is that like how in New York you either got hail and off?
Yes.
You got to crack a window.
Exactly in the wintertime.
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah.
All right, that's super country. All right,
Chicago
ain't in the country.
Y'all country. The way y'all dress?
You know what they do? I mean, most of the folks migrated from the South, so you're right.
Super country. Y'all act like y'all, yeah. All right, next question. If you could do coffee with one person, dead or alive, who would it be? No rule. It can be anybody.
Jay-Z.
Why Jay-Z?
I respect him as a business person, and he's my favorite rapper. So I'm a hip hop head, and I would love to have a conversation with him.
Yep.
Hove. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of dope. It would have been Prince for sure. Prince.
Make you some pancakes.
I just, that man there.
And a blouse, play basketball in a blouse.
I love it. I remember one time I saw him in a club. This was way back in the day, and I just kept trying to touch him as he walked by. Something about a Prince. Yeah, go ahead, Prince.
All right, cool. I'm a fan of Prince too. If you don't like Prince, I feel like something is wrong with your soul. You weren't raised right. You got sewage in your soul. You weren't raised properly. All right, next question. Last but not least, what's the one thing you learned about yourself from your last relationship?
Stay true to myself.
Dang, I don't know. I feel like I learn a lot every time I have a relationship. Know your worth.
Know your worth?
Know your worth. Yep.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Holler.
All right. Don't dim your life for nobody. For me, I used to be a fixer. Like I have a habit of fixing because based on my childhood. Like something in my childhood, I'm the person who had to keep the family together. So I pass it out I give that out in the world, and I feel like I have to fix everything versus letting God do what he do best and just letting him fix it. And I had to learn how not to pull out my toolbox because sometimes when y'all tell us stuff, y'all just want us to listen and not fix it. But my natural inclination is to fix it. And I'm like, if you keep complaining about it, let's do something about it to fix it. And you like, I don't need to fix it. I just wanted to tell you, stop trying to fix me. And I'm like, well, I thought that's why you keep telling me the same thing because we're adults and we can change things.
Are you trying to justify your brokenness? No.
Because we over here shaking our heads, both of us. No.
Anyway, I retired my tool belt and I'm not fixing. I was like, ask, hey, so how do you want to handle this? You want me to listen?
There you go.
Or do you want me to fix?
You know what? Your guys are not the only people that have to do that because I had to be that my coattail was pulled on that too. And I had to learn how to just, okay, what do you need in this moment? Yeah. So
I'll offer you some prayer.
yeah, there you go.
And I learned you can't fix nobody you trying to do life with.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
But I like to fix in general, so that's just my heart because I see things in people and I want them to see it. But if they don't see it, that's on them.
Yeah. Well, you want to find someone that's committed to.
Yeah, that's my heart. I always want to see people life get better.
Themselves.
Yes.
You see what we do. So.
Right. And I'm very blessed, and I want other people to live a blessed life too. But everybody don't want it.
They don't.
And that ain't my problem.
But it's hard when they don't though, because it hurts you a lot too though, because you're like that, like how you
just
don't
watch them walking towards the cliff.
Yeah, I got to think about grown men complaining about stuff they can change.
Mm-hmm. Grown people.
Yeah, but particularly men. Like, you can change that if you really wanted to. If you did the work, you could change that. But if you complain every day to me about something, I'm like, let's come up with some answers. And then you reject my 2 cents, and I'm like, we have nothing to talk about because you messing up my feng shui in my life.
I have a problem with people who want to change something and you try to help and then they don't follow through. Follow through irritates me because I don't want to want your dream more than you do. I'm not going to.
What if God was one of us? That's what God do every day. We ask him to help us. We ask him to help us, and then he help us, and we like, nah.
Yeah.
Help me in the areas I don't feel like touching.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Anyway, it's been a great show, man. I want to thank y'all so much, Paul. You've been amazing. Did you press that button once today?
Not at all. I don't got the button set up. I just got applause. That's all I got for you today.
So show us the Paul face before we leave.
I don't even know. You psyched me out, man.
He was in his head about it.
Think about it.
I bet you there was a camera phone in front of your face.
I need selfie. I need Snapchat mode. Give me Snapchat.
You need a dog filter. So before we leave, is there anything you got coming up that we can support, and how can we contact you?
Support everything Natasha Ward does. Let's just start there. Because it's great. It's because I'm building a legacy. It's so much great stuff that's out there. And I'm looking for everybody. Like the Paul Feig Project, East of La Brea, I needed a Bangladeshi American. I needed a 5th generation Chinese guy for a one-liner. I needed a Somali a South. So I'm touching everybody. I'm looking for everybody. You know what I mean? And the best way to stay in touch is through social, which is Natasha Ward Cast.
That's so awesome. You got to get 1,000 followers right now.
Yep.
Hey.
For me, I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook at One Meiko, and that's OneMeiko. And what I have coming up is my film Turns, the feature film that we're still developing. It's about a rapper who turns to sex trafficking to build his dream career. So we're actually right now turned some of our clips into a training program. We're taking it around the country. The training program is called Caught Up. It's prevention training where we go out and we teach teens how to recognize how traffickers recruit them so that they can protect themselves. And once the film comes out, it will do the same thing. So please support it.
And awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And if you're tuning in, I'm your host, comedian Ron G, host of the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast, man. It's been a great show. If y'all don't mind, please follow me at comedian Ron G on everything. I have some really dope stuff going on in my life and my career. On August 31st, Comedy Central will air my first 30-minute special. Yeah. Comedy Central, Next Level, Kevin Hart Productions. Thank you so much, Paul, with the button. The timing is amazing. Also, this fall, my show on Nickelodeon, Cousins for Life, will air. It's either this fall or early next year. Cousins for Life, 20 episodes. I just get a chance to be a dad and be a part of the culture and be a part of these kids' childhood. And then also, I have a movie coming out called 2 Minutes of Fame with Jay Farrell, Cat Williams, and Kiki Palmer. And yeah, man, I'm going to New York tonight.
Fantastic.
To shoot this promo for this Comedy Central thing. So I'm pretty excited, man. I'm very blessed. Also, every Sunday, I'm at the world famous Laugh Factory Chocolate Sundays comedy show, the longest running, most diverse comedy show in LA. It's a 7 o'clock show and a 9:30 show. Again, follow me, comedian Ron G, and everything, and I post that. And I have another podcast called the 2-Piece Podcast. It's one of the dopest things I've ever done, 2-Piece Podcast. And last but not least, Comedy Pop-Up also has a live show that we do. Paul, you want to...
Yeah, so if you want to catch live comedy in Southern California, please check out our website, comedypopupla.com, or find us on social media at Comedy Pop-Up. And for more shows on the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast Network, follow us at CPU Podcast.
Show them the face, Paul.
I can't even
Why do you keep looking up and blinking? That is so hilarious. So thank you so much, man. Again, Comedy Pop-Up, we don't small talk, man. Thank you two ladies for joining us. It's been a great show, and we appreciate you. We don't small talk. Yeah.